intellectual property, up to about 8,050 intellectual property aligned, attached to my data products. And also, I'm an author of several books. I've written over 15 books. Then also, I've been able to raise a startup from less than $100 in 2016 to 2022. $100, and the startup started doing what they call $30 million ARR, annual recurring revenue. And so I've exited about 2 startups of about $1 million. Then also I've been able to sell my data products more than $1 million. If I'm not, I'm trying to keep myself to one level. I've been able to do that. So I want to say I'm not new in the field. This is my 28 years in data products and also startup. So that's who I am. So I think as we progress, we'll talk more about who I am and also what I've been able to do. But I want to say thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Austin just told me again that, yeah, he's blocked off from his video. Yes, I think I fixed that as well. Yeah, so please, over to you, Austin.
You can hear me. I don't know if you can see me. Am I loud? Am I clear enough?
Yes, I can see you. I hope others can. Please drop an emoji if you can see him.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Leslie, for that very, very profound introduction. I mean, I would be fortunate to be with you. I mean, to speak alongside you, it's been a very fortunate thing for me. I mean, your profile kind of humbled me, but I mean, you're coming. All right, so my name is Austin Ejem. I've been here for a while, not so much, not as as long as Doctor. I think I've been here maybe like 10 years or less than 10 years, I'd say. Got into the tech space through school, but I didn't bump into it from the other part of the, the style that we usually know, like the tech founders area. I got into the tech area or the tech industry as a salesperson. What we normally do, we just build apps and we sell it. So we didn't have an idea of what funding is. Somebody's funding your business. I think I began to pay attention to that from around 2021. I mean, so somebody can give you money for your business. Wow, that's awesome. The idea for us is we build, we sell. And over the years, we've done we've done some good numbers. I've partnered with the products that have hit over like $1 million in sales. Personally for me, I've done like over 200K in sales. All right. And this is not the founder's money. This is not an investor's money. This is pure customer investment. Customers trust you enough to give you their money, and they trust you to continue building. So that's basically my introduction. Nothing so fancy, nothing heavy. Just trying to get things to work without huge capital. Yes.
All right. It's already heavy. Don't worry. We know. Already heavy. All right. Yeah, please. Thank you very much. Just before we dive in, right, we're doing more of a discussion, right? And we're also going to be opening the floor later for us to ask questions as well, right? So we're just doing more of a discussion. Please, I would like us in the comments, if you can, share a bit about your business, just what you do. Let's say, for instance, you can say, I'm a startup founder, or I'm trying to start up a business, I'm at growth stage, I'm at early stage, I'm trying to figure things out. We just want to just hear a bit about who you are in the comments. All right. So the theme of this session basically is growing from 0 to 100 customers, right? And that theme was quite intentional. I remember dropping it on our community chat and asking people to vote with a number of topics we had, but it was really intentional because we're really trying to target, right, and help people that are trying to just wrap their head around what growth is all about for products I've built or I'm trying to build, but now, like, how do I get it off the ground? And there are so many things we hear today. There are systems, there are strategies, like there are new tools coming out every day, so there is a lot of information to process, right? So in this session, I know that our experts will be able to make it, very simple for us to consume, being that most of us here are basically starting from 0 or starting from, few customers, right? So we want to be able to scale this to a reasonable level, right? And that's why we want to hear. So just very first question, and starting with Austin, right? So the theme we're talking about, moving from 0 to 100 customers, and it sounds interesting, it sounds exciting, but what's like the first thing, like what would you like to establish for us, before delving into like the real stuff? What should a founder, a business owner, have in mind, as foundation, or what should they know, before delving into what it takes to grow? Yeah, let me put it that way.
Okay. So I'll literally just be telling my story, and as I answer the question, just so it's more relatable, because I know we have a lot of young founders here, so I'll just be very, very practical. Okay, so I mean, starting out as a founder is already a difficult job. It's one of the most difficult job in the world, aside from being a mother. I think it's like the second category of difficult jobs in the world. After you see a mom, a woman with the 9 months pregnancy and all those stuff. So it's really a difficult job. So you have to make up your mind to play the long time game and to do the work needed of you. It's not an industry where you just play lightly, or you just throw it out to chance, or you feel like, oh, let's see what happens. No. You have to go all in. You have to go all in, because of course, as you heard Winifred, the market is moving really very fast. It's too fast. If you're not careful, you'll be thrown out the window. You will just be kicked out. So your relevance, aside from your product, aside from your marketing, your relevance will now also have to come from your courage, your vision, the things that formed you even before your company, and all of that. So that's like my basis. So I mean, if you take away all the companies, take away all the portfolio, I'm Austin. You can't intimidate me, that kind of a thing. I put out the value I need to put out. I make sure people hear what I need to say. I get the messages out, help as much people as I can help. And once you're on track like this, every other thing flows, just aligns to everything. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting stuff. You talked about courage, knowing who you are first and being confident in yourself. I think that's something that I was talking to someone. Okay, yeah, I was talking to someone recently. We're having a session, and he said, I started doing outreach, but after a few messages, the words it was, he put it like, I just lost my confidence. Like I didn't feel like I could do the thing I was offering, and he was like, he stopped. So yeah, so like courage, that's really important. So Leslie, please, would you share just a bit on that around foundations that we should have in mind before delving into growth?
Oh, okay. I think I'll just want to start with, I like making things simple, and also That is what I call innovation anyway. Becoming a startup founder, to me, is just a journey. It's just a journey where you you transition from a point A to point B. But before you transition, I think from that question you asked, there's something I want to reiterate, or I want to say clearly here. The first thing every founder needs, they need to get it right. There should be clarity. When I mean clarity, you want to become a founder, you should understand purpose. You should understand why you're venturing into it. There should be clarity. As an entrepreneur, what exactly do I need to sell? Or what exactly do I need to solve? What am I supposed to give to somebody that people will pay me for it, or that people will recognize me for my expertise or my experience, or see me as a brand? So clarity is one. It's not, a lot of founders, especially when it comes to startup founders, they like to concentrate. They so love their products. Your product, nobody cares about your product. What people cares about is what exactly do you want to solve. So you see startup founder, they spend too much time in products and forget every other thing they're supposed to do. So they spend too much time. So, but the fact is that when you have sense of clarity, it is easier for you to move forward. Then also, I want to say this, especially to early stage founders. They struggle because they do not clearly understand what they do. I'm saying it because I've dealt with a lot of founders. They don't understand what exactly. They only know that, that word, I'm a founder, I'm a startup founder, I'm a startup founder, is trending. People love it. When they see you coming up, they say, man, that guy is a startup founder. Oh, but it's you. You see, this guy he has put a lot in it and all that. People want to see themselves in that way. But the fact is that as a startup founder, you must clearly understand what you do. What exactly do you do? Then you must also understand who do you want to help, and also you must know what makes you different. That is competitive advantage. What makes you different? I remember yesterday I was discussing with the host. I said something. A startup founder should understand three things that nobody can buy. Even the AI cannot give you that. If AI can give everything, the AI cannot give you that. You know what is that? Your expertise, your skills, and your experience. Those three things are already a competitive advantage. If you understand how to use those three things to build products, I tell you, you excel. So you must have that sense of clarity. I think the second one has to do with consistency. As a startup founder, like what Austin, right? Like what Austin said. Yeah. So Austin mentioned something. He said, back in the days, it's recently he knew that, oh, there are some persons they call investor who want to put money in their business. When we started business, we don't even understand the language investor. Who is called an investor? All we know is bootstrapping. You go out there to get little fund. Once you get the little fund, the essence of becoming an entrepreneur is to solve a problem. So how do you solve problem? I mentioned something yesterday to Winifred. I said, we go out there to the market. Our research we do is called content. Content is king, feedback is queen. What kind of problem am I solving? So I take that problem to people. When 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons understand that problem, they have that problem, I'm able to solve that problem. It means I've been able to create a product. It's as simple as that. It means I've been able to create a product. So what do? The content is the people you get. You give them something to consume. You saw a problem and you want to solve a problem. So it becomes the content, and that content is the king because people want you to solve their problem. Now the feedback after giving them that thing, The way they say that that product is good, that product is nice, that's some anyhow they say it to you, that is your feedback. It is your feedback you use to improve your product and become consistent in what you do over time. Now, sorry, Winifred, I'm taking your time. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can, but you can round up it too.
Okay. Okay. So I have to do this. When I started as a poet. From poets, I became a prose writer, which is fiction writer. From fiction writer, I started writing books. From books, I ventured into real estate, I ventured into property, I ventured into so many business manufacturing. Then I look at it that, oh, those things are too stressful. I have to go into startup. Now, in my years, before that time, they were transition. I am a professional direct response copywriter. I write content for organization. I've worked with top organization. I mean, Fortune 500 company like HP in America. I've worked with Dell. I've worked with Kraft Food. I've worked with a lot of them. So common thing there. There's one thing that is so common with them. What is that common thing? Learn how to use. We create awareness before we create products. You create awareness before you create products. You push something to the market before you start creating products. The moment you push it to the market, you see how people respond. It is that response that helps you to build up a product. So when I started that, as I go on LinkedIn, I started posting on daily basis. I post consistently. You know, LinkedIn is a place where people think that it's just for you to get a job. I keep on posting. But one thing I learned over time, it is not your impression that matters. It is not the likes that matter most. It is not the comment that matter most. What matter most is, I mentioned three things: your expertise, your skills, and your experience. That's your competitive advantage. What exactly is that you are pushing to people? You must be consistent with that thing and stay with that thing. It doesn't matter how many people likes. It doesn't matter the impression you have. What matters most is that thing. People should know you for that thing. So when people know you for that thing, how do you connect to people? I started using what they call the DM. I use the DM and the comments system. I go through your DM, I go through your comments, and that is how I started getting jobs. And getting jobs after working with several persons, they talk about the experience. No, not the experience. It's not exactly what you see on my page that matters. What can you offer? What exactly can you offer? It is that thing that I can offer, start solving people's problem, that has made me to start connecting to people. At the time, before I know it, I started making money on LinkedIn. And so I look at it, okay, if I can make money on LinkedIn, what do? I have to turn those things, turn those services to products, and turn the product to something and start selling to other persons. I think let me stop from there. I think you asked other questions. Thank you very much.
Yes. Interesting, very interesting, Dr. Leslie. I like the part where you were talking about, we don't have to focus on the product first. We build awareness, then the products. Sometimes we have these misconceptions, about what to do first, what to prioritize, and all of that, right? So Austin, please, can you just share a bit about, myths, like things that a lot of founders and business owners tend to, misconceive, as what they should do, but really this is not the right approach. Those are not the approaches they should take first. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I just wanted to be sure that I'm aligned. Are we still going to have? Are we going to have a separate time for? Because I actually prepared more like a presentation just to help people here. So I want to be sure that there will be a time for that. Just do this, or should I just go on with what I want to present? Just as so I just.
If you have a presentation, please just go ahead. Yes, you can go ahead and share.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I mean, this is pretty much an opportunity for me to help people.
Yeah.
I've been in the business of helping people for quite a while now, so I don't take a gathering of one person for lightly. I value every opportunity I have to connect, to share, to help people. All right. So when you spoke to me about this topic, I could relate, especially with this particular question you just asked now, the bottlenecks and what people. So I prepared this is more like a 4-step protocol that can help you move fast. Dr. Leslie also mentioned something about messaging. I think he put it in his own words. He called it, can't remember, I didn't get it down. All right, but there's this 4 practical step protocol. It's called the 4M protocol. You can't see it anywhere. It's not on Google. It's not on the internet. All right. This is number 1 is messaging. All right. Number 2 is market. Number 3 is manage. Number 4 is measure. So as a startup founder, this is what we did when we were young. We are pushing and without investment money. All right. What happened? You have an idea. Ideas are. I always say that ideas are like dews from heaven. That's how I perceive ideas. They're like dews from heaven. Your ideas you can't be the only one with that idea. There are 1,001 persons with that. In fact, the moment it pours, just like when rain falls, the moment it pours, more than 5 persons could have that same idea, that instant, that minute. All right. So it's not the idea that matters, it's what you do with the idea. So what happened to us was when we pick an idea, when we find a problem, we go on to create a message out of the problem. All right. We don't really pursue the market. We don't really pursue the offer. We first of all will create a message out of the problem. And this message is not literally your ICP, your IG customer. I'm speaking to founders now. This message is not your IG customer profile, because sometimes we tend to mix the two of them. All right. The message is not the ICP. The message is the convener, like what conveys your connection to your ICP. All right. So you have a product and you have an IG customer profile. This customer profile. This product, this customer profile needs this product. But the problem I always see with founders is, how do I communicate this problem to this ICP? And that's where messaging comes in. I'll give you an example. I put it in my slide. There was a case with Uber. You can look this up. Uber used to pitch their product as a black car service that lets you book a ride from your phone. That was the original, idea, right? Until they had a rebrand and a remessaging. It now changed from everyone's private driver, a ride at the push of a button. So you see, they went from describing a feature to describing a feeling, a status, convenience, or control, as you may call it. So the way I see it is, remember I said it's 4 M's, all right, 4M protocols. This one is messaging. So whatever product you have, whatever idea you have, you should be obsessed, not just with the product, because I also love products. I mean, just like Steve Jobs, I love products, but while you are obsessed with your product, also be obsessed with how you message or how you market the product, the messaging around your product. You need to be able to communicate this idea to your ideal customer profile in such a way that it strikes a dot, like it connects. There's a connection between the two, the two profiles. I don't know if I should stop here or if I should go on, but I need to be sure that I'm, working according to time.
We would like to hear all of it. Probably just do just summarize it, but we'd like to hear you just share a bit about the other 3 that you mentioned.
All right. So, of course, message is very, very, very important. I can stay on message for the whole day. Message is your message is not your tagline, and anyways, let me just skip to the next one. The next one is the market. All right. The next one is the market. And what will carry your market, like what will make your market move faster, it's your messaging. All right. Your messaging makes your market moves faster. All right. So when you have your messaging, you try to focus on your market. Now, for this market case, I wouldn't rush into trying to sell or trying to pitch, or trying to go pursue founders or investors no. There are things that we do in our own part of the world, in our own part of the founder world or the tech world, and what I call it is leverage. So that's what we call market leverage. All right. So you have a product like Dr. Leslie mentioned. He leveraged LinkedIn to get people to connect to him, make him an offer, and there was an exchange of value. All right. In our own case, when we have a product, we have the messaging of the product. The messaging connects all the dots. Your profile is speaking the product. Your landing page is speaking the product. Your SaaS page, everything is making sense. It all connects. The next thing is what leverage? What can I leverage to get this thing out to the people? What we do is we approach launch platforms. All right. We try to see, okay, who can I meet now that already has at least 1,000 people that need this product? So what we do is we go out, start pitching to, or literally just start connecting to affiliate platforms. All right, we start talking to AppSumo, Product Hunt, Gumroad, Lemon Squeezy. We are not trying to be all out there. We are trying to, first of all, validate. Of course, we validated even before we build. But we're trying to make sure that we have, at least our first 100 users that are going to really go into this product, use this product, and give us
some sort of a product market fit, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, and give us a feedback. All right. So we leverage markets, AppSumo, Product Hunt, Gumroad, whatever platform that fits your ICP, because every platform has its own ICP. If you're targeting Nigerians, you can't do JVZoo. You might not even be able to do AppSumo. That's if you have a product that is speaking to Nigerians, like a native product that speaks to Nigerians. So you need to understand the messaging. The messaging needs to inform your launch platforms. All right. So for people like you that have international products, you go and launch on AppSumo, launch on Product Hunt. So when you launch on Product Hunt, which is the M, all right, the next thing you do is, of course, the M has a lot of things, but I'll just keep that. Let me just touch a bit on that. So under the market, you have the pre-sales, you have the design partnership, you have the platform launches, you have the sales webinar. These are literally some of the styles or strategies that we use to sell off our products when we have our leverage. So you can't just dump your product on your leverage. All right. So that's why, first of all, I call myself a marketer even before a founder. All right. Because I know how to do this thing. I know how to sell this stuff. So when I get the idea, I polish the message, I find the market. I also involve in the process of marketing. I can't just hands off my product to a platform. What if they make the mistake of selling it badly? So you have different kinds of ways you can sell this thing, even on that level of marketing. You have your pre-sales, you have your platform launches, you have your webinar sales. All right. You try to create a high converting presentation that speaks to this ideal customer profile in a message that you understand, and you convert them live on a call. All right. So that's how we do it. Then after the market, the next thing we go on to do is manage these people. We believe every time I've done it, it's worked for me. For every time I do messaging right, I do marketing right, I always have customers. The first 100 customers, I already have them. I've done it like countless times. I already have them. So at the third level, what you should ask yourself is, how do I now manage these guys? All right. How do I now manage these 100 customers? Now, this is also where people miss it. You now go on to the loop. It becomes a loop. You message, you market, and you get money, or you get users. You dump, you go back, you message. No, there is another third part of it where you manage these guys. Because these guys are the guys that will carry the message of your business. These guys are the guys that will, sound the alarm of the value that your company is giving out. All right. So that's where messaging comes in. I'm going to mention a few things that I have on my slide. Messaging, in this case, could be one-on-one onboarding call. For every, if I launch a product, I do my marketing and I have 100 users on my app, I do a one-on-one onboarding call for each user, non-negotiable. One-on-one onboarding call. I go as far as connecting even to other things that even though it does not relate to my software. That's how I've built friends over time. People are in the US, UK, Canada, white guys that I don't know them from anywhere. They just bought into one product and we become friends beyond the product. So when you get these guys, you need to learn how to manage this guy. You need to learn how to read. And let me remind you that most of these guys you are pursuing as customers, they are not an island on their own. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't just exist without a host. Most of them are already using one platform or the other that seems similar to your platform. Some of them, you're going to be pulling them out from Salesforce. You're going to be pulling them out from HubSpot. Some of them, you pull them out from Instagram, from Facebook, just to come and test your offer. So you need to find a mechanism that not just gets them, but keeps them. Because if you mess up, they will jump on the next bandwagon. So that's where you have the manage, you have the onboarding, you have the webinar, the regular webinar calls, like community trainings. I do that every day in my group. You do community trainings, you're training them on a feature, you're training them on an announcement, you're giving them, a lot of things that can happen. Then you have other things. Maybe later I can find a way to share this slide. You have other things that you can do at that level.
In fact, someone has shared in the comment, like, we'll need to definitely get the slide later. We'll need to get the slide later. Yeah, some of us that might not be part of our community, we'll share the community link and we'll definitely drop the slides for you guys in the community much later. So you shared about messaging, you've talked about markets platforms, that's leveraging platforms, right, for launch, right? And then you've talked about managing the people that come in, right? So you're in that number 3. You just hold it up there because you're going to continue. I just want us to backtrack a bit, to leveraging platforms, right? That sounds like, that's like they're like leveraging platforms, because a lot of people, like when we start, is like, how do we start reaching out people? Who are the people we even need to reach out to, and how where do we get through to get to these people? So for someone that may not know about platforms like AppSumo, or might not even be launching a tech product, because I feel like we've gone a bit narrow here, right? There's some people here that are probably not launching a software for the US market or the global market. They're probably just doing a software business, and all of that, or a digital service company, right? So how do they leverage launch, right, markets, right, that's entering this launch platforms in this case? How do they do the leveraging, the second part of it?
Okay, yeah.
Like, are there any type cases, yes, we could use to, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's literally the same thing. It's copy and paste across board. Whether you are launching for Nigeria, you're building for Ghana, you're building for Namibia, Kenya, whatever country you're building for. Let me just pull something out from this slide and just read it out for you. I'll just read where I said something about not building or not reinventing the wheel. I'm actually not a fan of inventive products. All right. I'm not a fan of inventive, not because I don't like inventive products, but because I don't have the resources to push an invention. Inventions take time, it takes energy and it takes funds. So I prefer to stay in the lane of invention. Well, did I miss it? Yeah. So you have invention, then you have maybe somebody can
innovation.
Innovation, yeah, you have innovation.
Yes,
so
innovating on top of
I prefer to stay. Yeah, I prefer to stay in the section for innovation, and the reason is because I need to make every dollar count. I need to make every value count. I don't want to be that guy that wants to build the next world space jets, and I don't have money for it. And I'm on LinkedIn, I'm shouting on LinkedIn, posting pictures. It makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. Please stop it if you are doing it. Yeah, of course you can. You might be fortunate enough, Elon Musk will see you and they will find you and they will invest in you. But I mean, so what I prefer to do is I prefer to stick to an industry that has already been tested, where there is data. All right, the data already exists. There's already a fail, there's already a win. All right, we have documented objections. So that alone gives you enough data to use to find leverage. Whatever you're building a school app, you're building a startup company for, let's say an agency for startups, you're building this, you're building that, there's leverage everywhere. There's nothing new. You're not trying to land us on the moon. Maybe if you're trying to land us on the moon, I mean, there might not be leverage for you because nobody has ever, from Nigeria, nobody has gone to the moon. So you might suffer for a while before something might finally happen for you. But leverage is everywhere. So I'll give you a practical example so it's very clear to people that are listening. Let's say you're trying to launch an EdTech product, right? And you remember these 4 M protocols that are listed here. Each of these protocols builds on the next, right? So if you miss the first one, you miss the other 3. If you miss the second one, you miss the other 2. So everything connects. So you have to be very, very careful not to miss any of them. When you get your messaging right, it's very important you get your messaging right. All right. And I also said something on my presentation slide. I wrote something and I said, when you build, right, when you are building an offer or a solution, the guys that you are pursuing came out of somewhere. They are churns from big tech. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. They are churns from big tech. So a churn is somebody that dropped off because they could not either keep subscribing to your platform, or maybe your support was bad, or maybe your technical, your platform had technical issues. So a churn is like a drop off. It's like a leakage in your funnel. All right. So these are guys that are already churned out. So you are now putting a bucket under the big tech. Say, okay, as you are dropping, I'm picking these guys. So I also have a 4-step way to build, like an ideation level, like the 4-step things you need to build a product. And I'm going to just give you one. One of those things is to build in a competitive market and niche down. Like when I say like, okay, let me just break it down. Niche, for people that might not understand, is a certain category of your market. So let's say I'm in the finance market, financial, fintech. I can niche down to utility bills. I can niche down to something very specific, very unilateral, that it appears that I'm the only person solving that single problem. All right. So you find a big tech, you find a big problem, you build a niche product around it. So what happens is that your marketing, your messaging becomes easy for you. You're not confused on how to sell, because what happens most times is we have beautiful ideas, too many features. We become confused. This my app, is it lead generation, or is it lead marketing, or is it this one? You just become confused. So when you are on your landing page, you don't even know how to connect the dots. You're already missing it. So I like you to follow a single line. You can expand as you build. You can open up as you build. But that first launch has to be one single user profile, one single market, niched down to the barest minimum. All right. So I'll just jump all the way to the leverage, bringing it down to Nigeria, and for practicality for people that are in other industry. Okay, let me use furniture. Let me use furniture as an example. You are into furniture. You started an agency that builds furniture for companies, hotels. You have artisans. You have a factory. You have all these things laid out for you. You just want leverage to scale. So your leverage can be developers. Your leverage can be contractors. Leverage in this sense literally means the market leaders, people that are already in that space that controls the market. As a product creator or as an edtech person, maybe you have an education platform, you've done the messaging, you've done the marketing plans, you are looking for leverage to push your products. You look on your Instagram page, there has to be somebody on that industry, in that industry, that can give you a push. And most times these leverages are bought. Sometimes they are not free. All right. I'll be honest with you, most times they are not free. So you buy them. Either you buy them through influencer marketing, or you buy them through JV platforms, or you buy them through launch platforms. But there has to be somebody in that industry that is already pulling traffic that can give you a 1,000 eyeballs on your SaaS page. You meet them, you jump on a call with them, you broker a deal with them. In my case, we do 50-50. In my case, we do 50-50, non-negotiable. Everybody knows. AppSumo even does 70-30. AppSumo does 70-30. You can go and check it. AppSumo takes 70, you take 30. Crazy numbers. But here is how what makes sense out of all these things. We start thinking about RRR, like recurring revenues. AppSumo can take 30, no problem. But what happens to next year? What happens to next month? So that's how leverage works. I don't know if this is clear enough, but that's literally how leverage works. You just find somebody in that space who's doing something, you leverage their traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, very clear now. So find somebody in the space where you are, find them. Can be one, it can be two, it can be three, but even one, from what he has explained, opens you up to 1,000 eyeballs, 10,000 eyeballs. All you just need to do is negotiate good with that person. And you can imagine that you can even scale from 0 to 50, 100, 500 just with a single partnership. So that's like the important take home from all that has been explained here. And I think that's just really massive. Right. Thank you very much for that, Austin. Yeah, so we'll just come back to you very soon. Hi, Dr. Leslie. I know you're still with us. Please, can you just expand on, right, share a bit about how we can use content marketing or content, to also build, a system like where you're starting from 0, right, to growth like to 100 to 50, like whatever the case, but you're basically starting from 0. Please, that is very important. Like, so this person doesn't have any idea about who to reach out to, or he doesn't have an audience. He's creating a LinkedIn account for the first time. He has built a product. What does he do? He's creating a social media account for the first time. He has built a product. What does he do?
Yeah, okay. Austin, thank you very much. I like when you talked about the tools they use, but I want to break it down to exactly where to start with without money. Though there's no business where you start with nothing at all, you don't invest anything in it. But the fact is that minimal, you have little budgets to start something with. That's the most important thing. I have a framework. I have several frameworks. I have over 350 frameworks, but I will go with one that is popular, the one I put every day, and the one I sell out to people. It's called NRI. NRI means I use simple newsletter, use a convert kit. Simple newsletter convert kit to push from traffic to leads, from leads, and nurture them. After nurturing, I make them buy what I want. This connects to everybody. Now, if you're a coach, if you're a startup founder, if you're an expert, whatever you are doing, it connects to you. So I will start with this. The NRI, they call it NRI framework. NRI means newsletter revenue infrastructure. What I do with my kind of business, I build an infrastructure that occupies an ecosystem, so I dominate, I don't compete. Now the NRI, in that NRI, we have something we call, there are five. I call them 5-part sales system. 5-part sales system. The first one is traffic. The second one is capture. The third one is nurture. The fourth one is called convert. And the fifth one is called deliver. Now, this is a business operating system design. It is designed. The focus of that thing is designed to turn attention into predictable revenue. How do I mean? You just mentioned someone who starts on a LinkedIn. Now, on LinkedIn page, when you, after writing your profile and all that, you focus, you ask yourself, okay, I have experience, I have skills, I have expertise. What is that thing that I have to do to sell to people? I don't just, okay, I'm not looking for a job. Okay, even though if you are looking for a job, you want to offer service to people, what exactly do I do? Now, let me break it down. Very simple thing I used to do. I have posts. I used to create your LinkedIn post. In your post, they are in categories. I have a post that I'm going to post on LinkedIn. Most of my posts talk about exactly the product or the problem I'm solving, relating to people that resonates to people. It must resonate to people, either that desire or what exactly they are looking for. So when I create the post, I create posts in different forms. The kind of post I create most time, I have what they call authority posts, where you exercise authority based on what you know. I have a post called insight post or system post. In that system post, I put up a framework how to make things work. Then I have the one they call the case study post. The case study post, who are the people that have patronized me? What are their stories in terms of success stories? I push up their story on my LinkedIn page. Then apart from that, you have others. I still have others. But one thing I do for sure, like I said, I push from traffic to capture, from capture to nurture, and from nurture to convert, from convert to deliver. Now, this system you see, well, like what else they say, you should go and look at it online. Oh. It took me time. It took me about 2 years to create this. Now, how did I come about this? It's very simple. I was creating something. If you go on YouTube, just type Let's Like Ademola, you'll see a video I did there. The video is about an hour or so because of the kind of clients I used to have. At the time on LinkedIn, I find it difficult to have clients. Now, I started asking myself, okay, what are the things I'm supposed to do to get clients? So I sat down to do a lot of research and put up all the people I've worked with. I came up with this five parts sales system. It is also a part that drives either your email. Okay, let me start with the first one. Each time you post online, you post basically on what you do. Take note of something. Anything you want to sell. For example, I have an app called Sumbo, or I have an app called OneDive. The app, what does the app do? It helps people to become productive and efficient. So what am I supposed to do if I want to sell, if I want people to be acquainted to it and people to know me personally and also the product? On my LinkedIn page, the first thing I will do is to start creating contents that relates to your products. Don't talk things that don't relate to that product. If you are creating content that relate to product, it should be problem solving. What does it mean? Okay, this product I created, I created is to help people to become productive, to do this, to do this. Here are the 4 steps. Here are 6 steps. It must relate. It must not be generic. It must be real life experience and talk about plus insight. Now, the moment I push it, what do? I prepare a table Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday. What exactly will I be posting? I cannot just keep on telling people teaching them on how the framework work. I should be able to also tell them from my experience. Instead of using the word failure, I use the word I discovered. I start putting that kind of post. The moment I put that post, what happens next? That post will make some people to like, and it creates impression. It doesn't matter. Your impression could be 5,000, could be 3,000, could be 2,000. What do? Go back and check the people who like your page and connect to their DM The moment you connect to that DM, thank you very much for going through my page and all that. I saw that you just click my page and you like my page. Thank you very much and all that. Other things will be coming up, and don't immediately introduce your product to anybody. Now, people need to get acquainted to your post. So when they are getting acquainted to your post, it brings what they call attention. Now, let me go to the first part. The first one, which is the traffic layer. The traffic layer, it teaches you how to attract qualified attention. Now, I just talked about my LinkedIn post. I use my post to do that job. So what are the things I use? I use 60 minutes to 60 seconds to 90 seconds video, short video, talked about that thing that relates to the post I posted. I use carousels. I use articles. The moment I have these people, after talking to them on my DM, the moment they trust me, I take them to my page on ConvertKit, which is my thank you page or my opt-in landing page. They click my opt-in landing page and they become subscriber to my page. Why am I doing that? I cannot control the LinkedIn algorithm. I cannot. The only thing I can own, because a lot of entrepreneurs or startup founders don't understand the word distribution system. Distribution system is money. You create, you keep, I talked about creating product at first. You keep creating products. It doesn't make sense when you don't know the people that will consume your product. You need visibility. You need people to know you. You need people to understand you. You need people to clearly know exactly what you're offering. The best way to do it is to own your distribution. So how do you own your distribution? You take control of these people. The moment they come on my ConvertKit, which is the landing page, imagine in a day, I get close to about 100 people. I use Octopus CRM to make sure I tell people, how are you today? This, that, and all that. I connect them to my DM system. I drive them to my landing page, to my ConvertKit page, which is my newsletter, email newsletter. On my email newsletter, on daily basis, the first thing I do here is this. I have about 38 lead magnets. In your 38 lead magnets, you are going to learn something that will affect your business or grow your business. The moment I put a lead magnet is like a bait. I put it to you. Now, when I put my lead magnets to you, what happens? People click and they come straight to your page. The moment they come straight to my page, they want to hear exactly what you offer on daily basis. So I give great insights that will help their businesses to grow generally. And the moment it gets to Friday, on Friday, that very day, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, on Wednesday, I talk about case study, success stories. I put up how people I've worked with. How did they use my product? How did they use this? What exactly did they do? I learn from them. I interview them. I ask them questions. They give me the repoints. The moment I get that, I put it on their email and they read about it. If they don't want to subscribe to my products, good for them. They can use it to start growing their businesses. You must have something value that people will want to do. So the moment I do that, what do I do? Now, how to attract qualified attention for my explanation? I do what they call LinkedIn positioning. In my LinkedIn positioning, I create thought leadership posts. I just mentioned so many. I create carousels. I did something. I strategically, if people comment on my platform, one of the things that I use one very simple CTA. I think Winifred got that too, and he asked me, okay, just comment NRI, just comment NRI system. I will send you exactly what I did that has made me money to do what I'm saying. Now, I don't want to exaggerate here, or I don't want to talk about how it works. I am telling us here that this thing affects anybody, even if you are in Kebbi state, you are in any state, you work with anybody in part of the world, anywhere in part of the world. All you need is, thank God for Nigeria that we have PayPal. I use Stripe account. I use Stripe on my Stripe. If not because of it's a bit personal, I would have shared my Stripe. But some of the persons, after I finish this something, the first time people that are able to connect to me I have a little short 3 days to 7 days stuff for them where they can just sit back. They will navigate from one form to another and see how these things work. It's free of charge. I don't need my my courses are very expensive. The cheapest of my course is $299. And present that I speak with you, I have close to about 300 and I don't know now, 330 something people who have paid for it or who has done it, who are really making good fun from it. So those are the things I use. I use that. Then I use in your comments. The moment people comment, I use system comments to connect to people and drive them from the comment on my post on my timeline. I drive them back to the DM. Then I have a
Awesome. Thank you
conversation
very
with
much. Leslie. I just want to highlight something you said about likes, right? Turning likes, I think a lot of us ignore likes, but I like the fact today that you pointed that out, right? That likes can be something that you can also leverage, and especially for people that are just starting off. So I just wanted to cut you there because of time, and I wanted to cut you right off the point where you were saying that you were going to share more resource, with the first 10 people that connect with you. Please, we would also want access to your resource as well. So as much as possible, I'll connect with you, to share with us so that we can share to the group, right? So I have more questions, but because of time, I want to allow us, I think it's important that people that, the audience ask their questions, So I would just want Austin to just round up, just touch on your last point, and then we're just going to open for questions, right? So please, if you have your questions, you can just start writing it in the comment section already, right? So that I can, I can read it off right from there. So then please, over to you, Austin, please just round off your last point. Thank you.
Thank you. So the last M is the last M is measuring. Measuring. So so I mean, literally the last M is measuring. You just measure what has happened over the first 3 M's, measure how your traffic converts. If you leverage somebody, if they're sending traffic, how sure are you that the traffic is actually converting? What's your churn rate? What's your experience rate? Like, all those things. So you have like key metrics that you can measure here. You have the retention rate, you have the activation rate, your revenue per customer. Then you also have the referral rate. All right, these things are going to help you. And these things are they're actually easy, very easy, easy as in the sense, okay, somebody's asking how you measure it. You measure it because it's built into your app. I don't know for how you guys build, but we will build data logs at the back end of our app, at the admin back end of our app, where we know the churn rates, we know this. Sometimes you can use external tools. But we don't like using external tools, so we can cut down on cost. So we have everything built in. Most times it's just an API call, just to connect an API to your platform so that you can see. Let me give you an example. Activation rates. Somebody comes on your platform. Let's say it's a 7 days free trial platform. You need to understand at what point did they drop off? When was their last login? Are you tracking their logins? Are you tracking the activity logs, their daily usage of your app? What metrics are you tracking? Is it a generative app? What are they generating on your platform? What features are they currently using? What features are popular on your platform? All these metrics, these are the things that will inform what you did with the other 3. So when you go back to your measurements and you notice that the numbers are not aligning, then you know that your messaging is wrong or your marketing is wrong. All right. So literally, just to wrap up the whole thing, you just measure. You measure with the word of mouth. Me personally, I will still go back and call the people. I'll ask them questions like, how would you feel if you could no longer use this product again? Like, how would you feel if tomorrow we tell you I was shutting down? And there's a number, there's a matrix for that. You need to measure the response rate, and all of that. I can't share everything, but it's just as clear as that. Thank you.
Definitely. Like I'm looking forward to your slide because I think the 4 points you shared is literally gold. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to your slide. Someone is asking, I think this is for Dr. Leslie, are LinkedIn hashtags a myth? Right. Yeah. Over to you, Dr. Leslie.
Okay, I didn't get that question, please.
Someone is asking, are LinkedIn hashtags a myth? Like after you craft your content, you add hashtags.
Okay,
Are they a
okay,
myth?
okay, okay, okay. I think some of us should learn to follow to to update ourselves when it comes to LinkedIn. The LinkedIn, the algorithm has really changed, and most times I do follow most of these things to check how they work. The way they give impression these days is different from back in the days when you just have connect to people after conversation, comment and all that. You get 1,200, 500,000 likes and all that. If you watch it for the past 3 months, it has changed. So what exactly they are looking at is they want expertise styled contents that will make people to know how to go about, talk about what exactly you can offer and stick to it. Okay, like what this man just mentioned. So the hashtag these days doesn't matter. The hashtag doesn't give you much impression anymore. So what matter most right now is exactly what are you putting on platform. When Austin was talking about messaging is very simple. Your post is message. When you post this message, your content is message. What exactly do you go on LinkedIn to do? How many times? What do you spend on LinkedIn to do? So the hashtag doesn't matter most. Okay, let me just round up to what I was saying. And so most times, what to do here, we pick up all your posts. You go to your LinkedIn, check your metric performance in terms of your impression, in terms of this. Go check your profile in terms of this. What are the things you use? You check, after checking them, you know the people that are interested in what you do. The likes alone, have you liked severally to convert fast likes? Now, where this one comes in, where you don't need an advert to run this, you can convert, you can take it from zero, you can take it from, you have 200 people. 200 people is enough. You have 100 people. 100 people is enough to start up a business. As long as exactly you're able to connect, they resonate to what exactly they want to do with you. And you can pick these people and drive them to somewhere. I use a lot of automations, software, SaaS softwares and all that. So you can start thinking of how those things work. Like the Convert kit I just mentioned. This morning I've checked today. Today I have 89 people who came into my platform, 89 people. In that 89 people, all I need to check is this. Who are these persons? How do they work? This man mentioned response rate. The convert. I am particularly concerned about conversion. But before I talk about conversion, I have the warm leads, the hot leads, and the cold leads. I put up a CRM using Notion or use Google Sheets. Just use ordinary Google. So there are many things that are free. I don't pay money for. I just use ordinary Google. The thing is, this is to have the skill to understand how these things work. Now, for example, in between day 1 to day 7, I can, by God, I can proudly say this, that I can convert 50 to 100 people to buy my product of $299. That's the list. That's my entry offer. It's as easy as that. But somebody's going to tell me that, okay, out of 100 people, you take 3%, is between 3% to 7%. That is what we have, the conversion rate and all that. That's what we have on most of the platform we have. But because of the way you put your post, because of your messaging, because that's your messaging, which is the content of itself, you put them step by step. You created a system like what I just mentioned. I created a system. It is not I start Monday and I convert Monday. Between Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday, I will ensure the numbers of people that come in through, I will convert them and put them to what I want. This work with my SaaS. And maybe as we progress, I will expose some of my SaaS products or some of my apps. Now, those apps I created them for purpose. How many users? If I have 1,000 users, what do I do? If I cannot convert 1,000 users, because you have users, a lot of people, they have users, they are happy that they will have users who are consuming my product. I'm not talking about inactive users. I'm talking about subscribe users, which is called active users. How much
Yes,
are they
people that
paying?
are able to,
Yes,
yeah,
how much are they
exactly.
paying you?
I have
Yes,
another
so it is.
question, please, for you, Dr. Leslie, so you can just answer it along.
Okay.
Somebody is asking, Dr. Leslie, as a founder and an employee, how best does one use this strategy to ensure that people know you and know your products, especially because you're visible across brands, yours and your employers? So this person is saying, does this strategy work if you're communicating via a company name? I hope you understand. So she's asking that how best does this strategy works for herself and as a brand, and if it works if she's communicating via a company name, or you're better off communicating via your own personal name.
Okay, I think it depends what you have on your profile. Is it your company you're selling on your profile, or you are selling yourself? If you're selling yourself on your profile, which is allowed, you can create a product, you can do that on your own profile. But one thing, I have a client, he did something. He's working for he's a product manager or so like that. Now he blocked his employer, and blocked some of his colleagues and started selling his own products. And I think he sent me a message after about 3, 4, 5 months. He resigned and started selling his own product. He may not be making a 10 figure, he's making at least 5 figure. He does close to about $2,000 to $3,000 at least monthly. That MRR, $2,000 monthly in Nigerian money is close to about 2.8 million. And that's something reasonable. So it depends exactly what is on your profile. So what exactly is on your profile is what you're going to use. Then I want to advise some people, some persons here. Please, if you use the social media to filter or to get traffic and convert them to leads, I will not advise you to use too many social media platforms. I will advise you to focus on 1 or 2 platforms so that you will know exactly who are converting. You will check your performance and know exactly where they go to and how you are able to nurture them, convert them, and deliver what you have for them. Because in delivering what you have for them, that is where client acquisition comes in terms of retention. They come back to buy you, they come back to buy your service, they come back to do exactly what they want. So, like I said,
All right.
lastly, the entire products, the entire process is a system that when you follow the system according to the way it is, in a short time, you can be working for an employer and also be earning money. It's as easy as that. I am saying it categorically, I'm saying it confidently. It doesn't matter your location. What matters is internet and laptop. You have an internet and you have a laptop. You can generate funds from anywhere. Thank God for Nigeria, we have PayPal. PayPal is recognized compared to the Flutterwave, the other ones we have here. You know, Nigeria, there is always this stigma, ban, and all. Like Nigerian don't use Stripe. But if I'm in Rwanda, I use Stripe. If I'm in UK, I use Stripe. Part of the world I use Stripe, but Nigerian don't use Stripe. But PayPal. So you need to have a PayPal account. You need to have a laptop and internet, and also understand how to create this messaging, which is the post or content, according to the system, like I said. You are good to go. Then you start making something out of it.
All right,
So
thank you very
thank you very
much, Dr. There is another question. Please, I will just push this to Austin. Austin, please, someone is asking, I hope you can hear me. He's asking, he says, so what if I have a physical product, or maybe it's hardware, he's building, and he's saying that his product is not ready yet. The product is not out yet. So how does he leverage, like how do you do all the messaging and data analysis, and also how do you harness leverage without having like your product ready yet? Is there any way to do that?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes. There's a way to do it. The messaging has nothing to do with your product or like the transfer of your product or who uses your product. I think it's just about the emotions or the usability of what you're offering. So if you have a physical product you're selling, just understand that message is what conveys the product to the final user. So I don't think there's any question as regards to that. Just write your message. Just, okay, let me just maybe put more light to it. What I do, all right, that's why, like I told you, I prefer to jump on, industries that have data that I can look at and see, okay, this is working, this is working, this is working. It's better for me, it's easier for me. So when I'm trying to, let's say I have a physical product, I'm trying to get my messaging out. What I do is I've looked for people that have already launched a product like that before. Most times I have to take my time to go through review platforms. I go through Trustpilot, go through loads of them just to see the challenges people are having with that product already. The messaging that these companies are already putting out. Most of these companies, they already have a message. They already have the how or the what their product is about. You look at all those data, just play around, look at everything, then bring your own juice into the game. Add your juice. There has to be something that makes you unique. There has to be something that gives your offering a cutout from the noise. So when you have all this data, you can now make your own look better. So that's for the messaging. Then for you trying to transfer your product to your leverage partner, it is not negotiable. Part of the things that happens during marketing is experience. I can't sell what I've not experienced. And you know that most of these platforms, most of these guys that are going to pitch your product to or call or go into partnership with, they have communities that they protect with their heart. These are people that have worked really hard for their platforms. They've done so much. So because how much can you even pay them? So it has to be a value, it has to be a win-win game. Most times what you have to do is to ship your product to them to use. Because part of your marketing is not just to market to customers, it's also to market to leverage. In fact, the first person you market to is your leverage partner. You have to tell them that this is too good. You have to push it on your platform. That's your first point of call.
In the case where he's saying that his product is not ready yet, can he still use leverage? Can he still access?
So if your product is not ready yet, you have to go the route of Dr. Leslie, speak about the product, make the problem known. I tell my friend that I have a friend that, we're in the space together, so he's building something, and I was telling him to go out and start pitching this thing, start pushing it out. You don't need to wait until the product is ready. Just start pushing it out. So you have a physical product. Most times we are building a solution to a problem that people are not so aware of. So when you start getting deep into messaging, you start understanding these things I'm saying. Sometimes you are building a solution. You know this solution exists, this problem exists, but the business person you're building this problem for have not even recognized the problem. So while you're waiting for your physical product to be ready, all right, while you're waiting for the physical product to be ready, the next point of call for you is to go and open up. The Bible will say, let the eyes of our understanding be enlightened. You have to tear the veil. People have to see the problem. So you prepare them. You prepare them in your messaging, in your LinkedIn posts. You're preparing them. Oh, your leads, your leads are leaking. You have bad leads. You have flooded your CRM with unactive users. You're paying every month $100 and something for people that don't even open your emails. You pitch these things. You keep pitching these things. And when your product is live, you cannot do a test run for them. So there's no cutting corners in this case, especially for a physical product. You have to deliver the product to your leverage. You have to show them what you've built, convince them, then you get them into partnership with you to sell it. I don't know if this is clear for you. Okay, I think we lost Winifred. I don't know, but Okay, I don't know if we still have her connected here or
I think we lost her now.
I think we lost her. All right. Well, if there's any other questions, maybe you can throw. If you have any questions, you can. Anybody can throw in their questions, or we can talk as until she's back. Ask any question. You know.
I'm back. I'm back. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was network here. So we just dropped our community link, right? For those that would want to are not already in the community, right? I want to access the resource that we'll be sharing, after now. Please, you can just join the link on the chat, right? I I like to try to keep to time. That's why we've tried to ensure that we are within the time, although we are actually past time, but at least we are not so past time. So we will just allow for one more question. I think there is one question I missed in the comments because now my comments are cleared. But if I'm not taking your question, we'll just allow for one more question. You can just unmute and ask it, or you can still drop it in the comment section. Then we will just round off. But like I said, if you want more of this, you can join our community because it's something that we'll keep on doing monthly. You already know that most of the things that were shared here, they need, you still need to know, get into them in depth, but a lot of points have been shared here that, it already kickstarts something for every one of us. So I'm seeing one more question here, and I'm guessing that is it. That is it for the 9. So we'll just take this question and asking like 2 questions in one. So he's saying, what is the best way to funnel leads, and how do we know when a lead is qualified to move from each funnel level? Dr. Leslie, what format do you use when writing a message? So Dr. Leslie, I think you can just take these 2 questions together. What format do you use when writing message? I like that. We want to know the exact one you use. Go ahead.
Okay, I think the way I use this thing, a lot of us use different kind of tools. I use a lot of tools. I use Cloud and ChatGPT to do a lot of job. They are my co-founder and they are my co-operator. I use them to create the kind of content I want. The moment I use them to create the kind of content I want, because I have experience, I'm an experienced direct response copywriter. I create content that draw attention. The moment I create content that draw attention, people comment. It means they've qualified to be my lead. They've showed interest. So what do? I pick it from there. I start using a system which is the comment DM system. From comment to DM, I use the comment to DM. I don't bombard them with comments, or I don't bombard them with DMs. I give them exactly what they're supposed to understand. I drive them from my DM to my email automation platform. The moment they get to my email automation platform, they are being able to go from lead to become subscriber. They want what I have. The moment they show they want what I have, it means that in that sales cycle where I'm not convincing them, I am taking them from one journey to another to help them solve their problem. The moment they get to that, at the end of a particular day or a particular post or a particular section, I change them from subscriber to buyer or to users. That's how I do that every time. Then I have what they call the sales presentation. I use a lot of automation to do that, a lot of apps to do that. Sales, I created one that I use. I created it myself. I vibe code it. Then I created it myself. I do that consistently. On sales, how we do sales calls, how to close it, and how many seconds, how many minutes it takes for them to do that. I use that but I use that every time and it worked for me. One of the common tools I use, most of them, like I said, if you want to start, are free. Go to your free tools. Calendly, use your free tool of Calendly. ChatGPT, use your free tool. Claude, use your free tool. Some of them use your free tool to do that. The most important thing is to have the expertise, to understand the expertise. So that is what I offer most times. So understanding the
Okay.
expertise, and that closes it. Then lastly, before, I don't want us to make this mistake. I did that in 2023. In 2023, I was subscribing to too many apps that cost me close about two to three, let's say $2,000 to $4,000. Let's say $2,000 to $3,000 in my startups. And at the end of the day, the turnout rate is poor, the response rate is poor, the conversion rate is poor. So you have to cut down, you have to streamline the ones that are important. Like I said, a lot of people like the word, I'm a tech founder, or I'm a startup founder, or I'm a founder. They like that is a brand. It's a brand in Nigeria. They like it so much, and start thinking that, okay, we can use this app, can get me this, or this can get. Nothing can get you anything if you don't put it. It is input and output. What you put in is what you get. That's what you get. But one of the things you should learn is, every time you put up a message or a messaging, the content or whatever, ensure it drives to predictable revenue and growth. Once you understand that, have that system, you are good to go. I don't know if I've answered the question. Host Winnie. Okay. I think we lost. Okay.
So please, I apologize for my network. But I guess we just had the last question. So I'll take it that that's a wrap. Please, I just want to see your reactions on the comments, or just drop a reaction. I hope this has been impactful for you. I hope you learned something. Please, you can connect with Dr. Leslie, of course, on LinkedIn. He's also on YouTube as well. You can connect with Austin Ejem. I really want to thank our facilitators, our speakers, for this very insightful sessions. And I'm really excited about what they shared, because what they shared is not very popular, it's not really out there, and again, it's very precise. So I hope that we were able to draw something out of this, and I really want us to connect with them. And if you've not joined the community, the link is on the chat. Please do well to join in. There we'll share all the resources we talked about that we didn't share. All right, that wasn't shared here. Of course, everything cannot be shared in this session. So thank you very much, and please have a pleasant rest of the night. Have a good night, guys, and a very good weekend. Guys, thank you so much. I'm saying thank you to the amazing speakers. Thank you, Rose. Banjo say it was very educative and impact-driven session, and I do appreciate the host for thinking wild and hard. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. So without further ado, have a pleasant night and cheers. Bye, everyone.